Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Namaste to all gadgeted officers, IS, IPS, doctors, surgeons. Remember, every bit of knowledge you gain today is an investment in your tomorrow. Every bit of knowledge you gain today is an investment in your tomorrow. Current affairs are not just facts. They are stepping stones that shape your preparation for UPSC, BPSC, SSC, banking, defense, and all competitive exams. My dear aspirants, stay disciplined, stay positive, stay consistent, and keep moving forward because your hard work today will become your success story tomorrow. This is part 4 of our current affairs series from 1st to 7th September 2025, consisting of 65 updates. We have completed 41 updates. We are going to proceed from 42 updates. So kindly don't miss part 5, where we will continue with the remaining important updates and exam focused questions. So my dear aspirants, keep learning, keep growing, and never give up on your dream. I have included pre and mains questions, one liner recap for your easy memory boost. 42 news is India's fertilizer demand soar. India's fertilizer demand increases. India experienced an average southwest monsoon in 2025. India experienced an EVAP more than average southwest monsoon in 2025. So because of southwest monsoon, there is a plenty of rainfall has taken place from June to August. It was 6.1% higher than the historical average than the previous years. So these plenty of rainfall, this favorable weather help in boosted kharif crop. They boosted kharif crop. Kharif crop from June to August we always grow it in monsoon season. So because of increased rainfall, because of above average southwest monsoon, it help in overgrowth of kharif crop, sowing, and fertilizer consumption also. Fertilizer consumption also. So however, limited supply constraint led to shortage of key fertilizer during the peak season. However, there is a shortage of important fertilizers during the monsoon season. About the monsoon performance and agricultural impact or effect, 2025 monsoon showed timely onset and good spatial distribution. Distribution is spatial. That particular reason is distribution is monsoon distribution is spatial and onset. June recorded 8.9%. June in the month of June, June has recorded 8.9% above average rainfall. So there is a more amount of rainfall in the month of June. July 4 point July month it was 4.8% rainfall and August 5.5%. So gradually it has increased. May also unusually high precipitation at 0.106.4% of normal. Out of 36 meteorological region, 33 received normal or above normal rainfalls. Now, points should be noted. Bihar, Assam, Meghalaya, and Arunachal Pradesh had deficient rains. These states have less amount of rainfall during the monsoon season. Bihar, a state was Bihar, Assam, Meghalaya, and Arunachal Pradesh had deficient rains. These help farmers increase sowing area under rice by 7.6% and maize by 11.7% compared to 2024. So because there is a deficit rains in the states like Bihar, Assam, Meghalaya, and Arunachal Pradesh, so this help farmer of these states to increase sowing area under rice by 7.6% and maize by 11.7% compared to previous year last year 2024. About southwest monsoon, in India is a primarily region of rainy season, which responsible for rain in many states. From the month is from June to September, when moisture laden winds from the southwest bring 70 to 75% of the annual rainfall. So it is triggered by the heavy heating of the Indian landmass in summer. Too much heating in Indian landmass in the month of summer. So because of very high heating in summer, heat condition in summer, it creates a low pressure area that draws wind from the cooler high pressure Indian Ocean and Sea. So as the light year move forward, so this draw winds from the cooler and high pressure from Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. So this wind splits into two branches given about the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean. Down is given Indian Ocean. So this wind splits into two branches, one above the Arabian, one above the Arabian Sea, and one above the Bay of Bengal, and forced to rise and release rain as they encounter Western Ghat and Himalayas, responsible for rain in the Himalayas and Western Ghats. So this is important weather system which is important for India's agriculture. It provides drinking water also and overall help in the economy. Kharif crops are agriculture crops which are grown in the summer in the monsoon season. It is typically sown at the beginning of monsoon season. It is typically sown at the beginning of monsoon season. It is typically sown at the beginning of monsoon season. It means from June to July, and harvested after maturation in the month in autumn, means around September to October. So these crops always require warm condition, humid condition, and significant rainfall for their growth of kharif crops. So kharif crops are rice, mostly rice because it requires more amount of water, maize, soya beans, groundnut and cotton. Rice, maize, soya beans, groundnut and cotton. So these paddy, soybean, pigeon pea, cotton, peas, green gram are kharif crops. Fertilizer demand growth, when there is a heavy rainfalls, it improves heavy rainfalls it improved soil moisture and reservoir levels also. It increased reservoir levels of water. So it encourage farmers to buy more fertilizers which are essential for crop growth. Sales of the amount of fertilizer will increase. Sale of fertilizer will increase because of heavy rainfall. So sales of urea. Then second one is the single user phosphate, SSP. Single super phosphate, SSP. Sales of urea, single super phosphate, and muriate of potash, which is called MOP. MOP is muriate of potash, and complex NPKs. NPKs means nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. In this sales will sale increased sharply. It increased sharply between April and July 2025. The only exception was diammonium phosphate fertilizer, DAP diammonium phosphate fertilizer, whose sales fell by decreased by 12.8%. According to the data, diammonium phosphate fertilizer sales decreased by 12.8%, continuing a multi-year trend due to supply shortage. Farmers substituted diammonium phosphate with because there is a less amount of diammonium phosphate. So the farmers substituted diammonium phosphate with other phosphatic fertilizer. With the help of phosphatic fertilizer, they substituted DAP with further phosphatic fertilizer like SSP, single super phosphate. Ratio is 20 is to 20 is to 0 is to 13 blends. So fertilizer in India, the is production, import, sales. Production blue color, import red color, sales. So look at an image. In India's fertilizer import landscape underwent significant shift from April 2023 to February 2024. So image is given the April 2023 to February 2024 over April 2022 to February 2023 in percentage each fertilizer demand in India. So look at an image, urea minus 10%, DAP demand minus 20%, and NPK complex minus 18%. So this India's fertilizer import landscape underwent significant shift from April 2023 to February 2024, witnessing a notable reduction in decline of 10% urea, then 20% in decline in 20% in diammonium phosphate, and then 18% decline in NPK complex. Import has decreased from April 2023 to February 2024. So conversely, MOP, muriate of phosphate, increased with an impressive growth of 52%. So this is increase. MOP, muriate of potash, this fertilizer increase with an impressive growth rate of 52%. So these trends align seamlessly with the government vision, and that mission is Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. That initiative is Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, which is emphasizing reduce dependence on imports. Atmanirbhar means we self-reliant. So it emphasizes reduce dependence on imports and bolstering local alternate indigenous fertilizers. So to use indigenous fertilizer instead of importing. India's fertilizer and agriculture sector are ablaze with success. It boasting impressive achievement as of February 2024. So image is April 2023 to February 2024, April 2022 to February 2023, and 2023 over 2023 amount is given. So urea, DAP, MOP, NAP all in total. So production, import, sales. Then in the April 2022 to February 2023, production, import, sales. Then again, variation 23-24 over 2023 in percentages variation is given. Production 8% variation, production 8% variation, minus 10 import, and sales means import decline. So with substantial increase in production and sales of key fertilizer, increase in sales of key fertilizer, that is a urea, DAP and NAP, the total fertilizer production increased to an impressive 41.8 million tons. Urea led the charge with 28.9 million tons, which is closely followed by NPK at 8.9 million ton, and DAP contributing 4.1 million tons, which is making a remarkable accomplishment for the nation, remarkable achievement for the nation. So urea led the charge. Urea amount is 28.9 million tons. Indigenous homemade production, closely followed by NPKs and DAP. Fertilizer in India is flourishing, improving, enhancing, painting a picture of success with every increase in production and sales. So it is not just about fertilizer, it is a testament, commitment to bolstering agriculture, meeting growing demands, and nurturing better farms for a prosperous futures. So it is not just about India is flourishing and improving and enhancing in agriculture field with the help of fertilizer. It is not, it is a testament, commitment to bolstering agriculture, improving agriculture, meeting growing demands and nurturing better farms for a prosperous future. Supply constant and stock depletion about during rising demand in the monsoon season. Domestic production of key fertilizer like urea and DAP is stagnant or decline. So during monsoon season, the key fertilizer that needs demand decreased, declined are urea, DAP. Urea fell declined from 102.1 lakh ton liter in April July 2024 into 93.6 liter in the lakh ton in the same period of 2025. So DAP production also remained flat, a decline at 13.7 liter, and it imports of urea and DAP also import of urea and DAP also decreased, dropped, partly due to Chinese supply because of Chinese supply restriction. So import of urea and DAP decreased due to Chinese supply restriction. So this mismatch caused sharp stock depletion. Urea stocks on August 2025 were 37.2 liter, down from 86.4 liter the previous year. So similar decline occurs in other fertilizer. That fertilizer are DAP, NAP complex, and DAP stock. So we have seen this in the previous slide. There is a uh, chart is given, so everything is mentioned there. So DAP is diammonium phosphate, which is used for providing both nitrogen and phosphorus for the growth of the plant. Muriate of potash supply the potassium to the plant. Both are important for the plant growth and development. Impact on farmers and crop cycle. Phosphatic fertilizer like DAP are applied at which help in the root development of crop. Nitrogen rich urea is nitrogen rich, which is used to apply the plant crop for the crop growth in applied in split doses. The shortage of this fertilizer led to the farmer shortage of this fertilizer led to a long queues and panic buying among farmers. So the farmers, because of the shortage and heavy monsoon season, there it creates panic buying among farmers. So increased sowing of high nitrogen demanding crops like rice and maize intensified fertilizer consumption. Rice and maize needs more fertilizer. Meanwhile, acreage under nitrogen fixing crops like soybean and pulses also decline, further raising nitrogen fertilizer demand. Policy and consideration and future outlook. The government underestimated fertilizer demand during the 2025 Kharif season. Government underestimated fertilizer demand during the 2025 Kharif season, with reservoir is 83.5% capacity and groundwater replenished. Strong fertilizer demand is expected for the upcoming Rabi season. So groundwater replenished, renew, strong fertilizer demand is expected, and it is expected for the upcoming Rabi season in the month of October. Because of import restriction from China have eased recently, which may improve supply. Experts suggest promoting fertilizer substitution to reduce urea and DAP dependence. Ammonium sulfate can replace some urea while supplying sulfur, restricting DAP use to staple crops, and encourage complex fertilizer for other could optimize nutrient use and ease shortage. Staple crops, whatever the primary staple crops we are eating is rice, wheat, and maize. Which of the following fertilizer account for the highest consumption in India? The highest consumption in India is urea. Highest consumption is urea. Now, nutrient-based subsidy NBS scheme in India covers which of the fertilizer? So it covers non-urea fertilizer, that is PNK, phosphorus and potassium. Which state in India is the largest consumer of fertilizer? The largest consumer of fertilizer is Punjab. Punjab. China is the now about the India. Now we are globally we have to look at China is the world largest consumer of fertilizer due to its vast agriculture sector and intensive farming practices. Consumption rates often exceeding 4,000 kg per hectare annually. United States and India are also significant global consumer of fertilizer, while countries like South Korea, Netherlands, and Egypt have high per hectare consumption rates. Very important point: China is the largest consumer of fertilizer. Then again, United States and India are the also significant global consumer of fertilizer, while countries like South Korea, Netherlands, Egypt have high per hectare consumption rates of fertilizer. About India, Punjab has the highest per hectare consumption of fertilizer. Other high consumption states are Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal. So it's so high per hectare consumption. So one liner recap is India's fertilizer demand has increased due to higher crop acreage, government subsidies, and rising food security needs. Acreage means an area of land typically when it is used for agriculture purpose. Any area of land which are used for agriculture purpose, it's known as acreage, but not necessarily it is measured in acres. Now, next question is the term green ammonia is sometimes seen in news. Green ammonia is hydrogen-based production of fertilizer. Green ammonia is hydrogen-based production of green ammonia is hydrogen-based production of fertilizer. Next question is India imports a large quantity of its fertilizer requirement. Which of the following is the largest import item in the fertilizer sector? So, import item is MOP. Muriate of potash. Means question is given India's fertilizer demand is rising rapidly, putting pressure on import dependence and subsidy burden. Discuss the major challenges in fertilizer management and suggest measure for sustainable use. Now, next question: examine the role of new initiative like nano area, green ammonia, soil health card in addressing the increasing fertilizer demand and ensuring agriculture sustainability in India. Next news is China and India lead global coal power expansion in 2025. So, China and India lead global coal power expansion in 2025. So, in the first half of year 2025, China and India were the dominant countries for new coal power capacity. China and India were the dominant leading countries for new coal power capacity for new coal power capacity according to nearly 88%, 88% of global proposals. China proposed 74.7 approx 74.7 gigawatt, while India proposed 12.8 gigawatt approximately, with the rest of the world proposing just 11 gigawatt. This expansion is driven by energy security concern and industrial demand, with both nations pursuing dual energy strategies that include renewable growth and alongside coal development. So China, the first half of 2025 saw China and India proposed nearly 88%. Nearly what percentage is 88%? 88%. 88% of coal power capacity worldwide. So China added 21 gigawatts of coal power in 6 months, the highest in a decade. China percentage is 21% of gigawatt. Then India added 5.1 gigawatt of new coal plants, has a 92 gigawatt of proposal pending. Pending is 92 gigawatt. Proposal for India is it is pending. And commission 5.1 added 5.1 gigawatt of new coal plants. Despite rapid renewable energy growth, both countries continue to dependent on heavily on coal for energy security. India and China both are dependent heavily on coal for energy security. So meanwhile, Europe and Latin America are phasing out. reducing it. Meanwhile, Europe and Latin America are reducing or stopping coal power expansion entirely. So this contrasting trade marks the complex global energy transition. China coal's capacity surge. China led global expansion by adding 21 gigawatt of new capacity in 6 months, the largest increase since 2016. So, these increase is linked to the energy crisis of 2021-22, energy crisis of 2021-22, which pushed policy makers to prioritize coals to avoid power shortage. Despite increase in coal plants, China carbon emission decreased about 1%. Despite increase in coal plants, China's carbon emission fell by 1%. Very important point. 1% in early 2025 due to rapid growth in renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower. So, despite the increase in coal plants, China's carbon emission decreased by 1% in the early 2025 because China is emphasizing on renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropowers. Many new coal plants are standby capacity, serve as a standby capacity operating mainly during peak demand operating during peak demands. India's dual energy strategy. So India renewable capacities increased 2000 gigawatt by March, surpassed 2000 gigawatt by March 2025, supporting its 2030 goal of 500 gigawatt. So however, coal still generates around coal in India still generates electricity, that is a 70% of India electricity. Coal produces 70% of India's electricity. So the India plans to add about 90 gigawatt of coal capacity in the next 7 years. India wants to increase 60% increase over previous targets. So in the first half of 2025, India commissioned 5.1 gigawatt of new coal plants, up from previous it was 4.2 gigawatt. Coal plant retirements remain slow with just 0.8 gigawatts shut down in 2025. So coal plants closing remain slow with just 1.8 gigawatts shut down in 2025. So delays in pollution control informants extend the life of older plants. India Energy Path Indian energy paths run on two parallel tracks. Tracks are rapid renewable growth. Second, it's alongside continued coal dependence. So, two tracks India is following. Global regional contrast, it is a very important point. While Asia expands coal power, expanding coal power, India, China like that. Europe and Latin America move towards coal phase out, decreasing it, stopping it. Europe and Latin America. So Ireland closed its last coal plant in June 2025. Very important point. India and China is expanding, improving their coal power, increasing their coal power plant. But Europe and Latin America move towards closing it, stopping it. Ireland closed its last coal plant in June 2025. Many European countries plan full coal exit close by 2029-33. There it is their plan. EU countries. Latin America has nearly stopped new coal project. So this regional divide complicates efforts to meet the Paris Agreement. There is a regional divide which complicates efforts to meet the Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement goal is to limit global warming. Paris Agreement goal is to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. So halting new coal development globally is key, but challenged by Asia's coal expansion. But it is challenged by Asia is expanding their coal. Now, energy security and climate goals. China's and India coal strategy reflect energy security and industrial growth needs rather than a simple desire to increase emission. Coal safeguards China's power supply and supports India baseload electricity. Both countries are expanding their renewable resources also aggressively. positively. This dual approach shows the non-linear nature of the energy transition in major developing economies. So these choices will shape global emission and climate outcomes in the coming decades. Pre-question: according to 2025 analysis of Carbon Brief, which two countries accounted for the majority of new coal power capacity proposed globally in the first half of 2000? China, India. What was the approximate percentage of global new coal power capacity proposed in the first half of 2025 by China and India combined? That is 88%. Which region of the world is leading the trend of phasing out, closing out coal entirely while China, India expanded? Europe and Latin America, Europe and Latin America, Europe and Latin America. What is the primary reason for China's continued dependence on coal despite its aggressive expansion in renewable? So reason is response to energy security vulnerabilities exposed by 2021-22 energy crisis. It is a response to energy security vulnerabilities exposed by the 2021-22 crisis. Next MCQ is: what role do many of newly proposed coal plants in China serve according to the analysis? So newly proposed coal plants in China they are served as a standby capacity to operate during peak demand. Now, China added 21 gigawatt, the highest since 2016, as new plants serve as a backup power after supply vulnerabilities exposed in 2021-22. So India followed suit, adding 5.1 gigawatt with proposal of 92 gigawatt. Both countries are aggressively improving renewable energy. So what percentage of new coal is given at 87 to 88%? How much new coal power capacity was added in China for the first 6 months of 2025? It is a 21 gigawatt. What are the primary reason for China's and India increased coal power expansion? What are the reason? So China and both countries are expanding coal power alongside renewable as a strategy for energy security. How does the coal expansion in China and India contrast with other regions? While Asia's China and India, two largest economies, are increasing coal, many other regions such as Europe and Latin America are closing out coal power entirely. So creating a stark divide in the global energy transition. What is the global impact of this expansion, particularly on renewable energy? The development of new coal plant in China and India can limit space in the grid for renewable energy sources, making it harder for wind and solar energy to get market share. One line recap: China and India are driving global coal power expansion in 2025 to meet rising energy demands, raising concern for climate goals. Mains question is given. Just to pause the video, practice it. Why are China and India expanding coal power capacity despite global commitments to clean energy? What are the global implications of continued coal reliance by China and India? So it increased carbon emission. Global implication is it increased carbon emission, risk carbon lock-in. It risks carbon lock-in. It risks carbon lock-in, slows climate progress, strains global negotiation, and it pressurizes the carbon budget. So, suggest strategies India can adapt to balance energy security with climate commitment. So, these strategies are given. Now we have to know about the Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement is a legally binding internationally treaty on this treaty, international treaty on climate change. Paris Agreement is a legally binding international treaty on climate change, which was adopted in 2015. Adopted in 2015 by number of countries are 195 countries. Paris Agreement between the 195 countries adopted in established in 2015 on International Treaty on Climate Change, and its addresses to limit global warming. Paris Agreement to limit global warming well below 2 degrees Celsius, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius, to 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to the pre-industrial levels. So, Paris Agreement is a global action plan to reduce greenhouse gases, methane, carbon dioxide, etc. emission and build climate resilience depending on each country's submitted nationally determined contribution. It depends on each country's, this 195 countries have to submit NDCs, nationally determined contribution, and a 5-year cycle of increasingly ambitious climate targets and transparent reporting. So it was the first universal agreement, Paris Agreement, to tackle climate change on a global scale. It provides Paris Agreement provide a crucial framework for international cooperation and coordination to address the urgent threat of climate change to work for global warming. So the most recent meeting related to the Paris Agreement was the Climate Change Conference, COP, Climate Change Conference. COP is Climate Change Conference held in Baku, Azerbaijan in November 2024, which result in a new climate finance finance goal for developing nation. So before COP28, climate change of conference 28 in Dubai happened in December 2023, concluded for the first global stock take, affirming the need for accelerated action and transition away from fossil fuels. So the next major conference COP30 will be held in it will be held in Belém, Brazil in November 2025. Very important point. So key recent meeting, uh, climate change conference 28 happened in Dubai in the year 2023. It is the first global stock take of Paris agreements, which assess progress towards its goal. The outcome included a call for a transition away from fossil fuels, and it places for more, we have to use more renewable energy and energy efficiency. Next is the COP2 COP, Climate Change Conference 29, which happened in Baku, Azerbaijan 2024. This conference established a new ambitious goal for financial goal to triple the financial resources provided to developing countries for climate action by 2025. 2000 COP30, Climate Change Conference 30, it will be held in Belém, Brazil in November 2025. This will be the next major United Nations climate change conference. So Paris Agreement is an international treaty which aims to limit to reduce global warming to well below how many degrees Celsius? 2 degrees Celsius, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. Countries submit national determine contribution, climate action plan to reduce emission and adapt to climate change. So it includes a commitment to provide climate finance to help developing nation adapt transition to cleaner energy, adapt and transition to clean energy. About the global stock take, a process where countries and stakeholders review their collective progress. A process where countries and stakeholders review their collective progress towards achieving the goals of Paris Agreement is called global stock take. Global talk at COP28 that current efforts are not on track to meet the 1.5-degree goal, emphasizing the urgency to take more action. Next news is India United States joint military exercise Yudh Abhyas 2025. US joint military exercise Yudh Abhyas 2025, the 21st edition of the India United States America joint military exercise Yudh Abhyas 2025 commenced in Alaska, Fort Wainwright, Alaska. The India it was 21st edition of India United States Joint Military Exercise. Name is Yudh Abhyas. It commenced in Alaska, Fort Wainwright. It is scheduled from 1st to 14th September 2025. So this exercise involved troops from Indian Army's Madras Regiment and United States 1st Battalion, 5th Infantry Regiment Bobcast of Arctic Wolves Brigade Combat Team, 11th Airborne Division. So these are the members, these troops involved. So exercise take place amid ongoing bilateral trade tension but marks the continuing strategic defense partnership between the two nations in India and United States. So Yuddha Abhyas 2025 is the one of the largest joint military exercise between India and United States, focus on integrated warfare tactics and high altitude operation. Warfare tactics and high altitude operation. So in this used of heliborne operation, mountain warfare, rock craft, casualty evacuation and combat medical help. So it also emphasizes the combined use of artillery, aviation, electronic warfare system to improve operational synergy. About tactical drills and training focus, troops rehearse a wide array of tactical drills. This includes the use of unmanned aerial system and counter US operation. The exercise also cover live fight drills and complex maneuvers simulating high altitude warfare conditions. So these drills aim to improve combat combat readiness for multi-domain challenges and United Nations peacemaking mission. So role of subject matter expert is expert from both the armies, India and United States, conduct working groups on key domains such as information warfare, communication, logistic, and electronic warfare. So it facilitate knowledge exchange and help develop joint strategy for emergency military technologies and battlefield scenarios. Strategic context and trade tension. The exercise occurred despite there is a tension recent trade conflicts between India and United States, notably 50% tariff, as you know very well, imposed by the United States on Indian goods under the Trump administration. While this tension have strained economic ties, disturbed economic ties, defense relation remain strong, but defense relation remain strong. So this military collaboration reflects a long standing strategic partnership that continue to prioritize cooperation over trade disputes. Significance, it strengthen interoperability between the India and United States armies. It is a joint operation in diverse environments including extreme cold and mountainous terrain. So it is help to contribute help in global peacemaking efforts and respond to multi-domain security threats. So MCQ question is, which of the following location hosted the 21st edition of India United States Joint Military Exercise Yuddha Abhyas 2025? So it is happening in Fort Wainwright, Alaska, United States of America. Next is question is, the Indian Army contingent for Yuddha Abhyas 2025 comprise personnel from which regiment? From Madras Regiment. Which of the following is not a primary focus area during the Youth Abhyas 2025 exercise according to the PIB release? It is a counter-terrorism operation in desert environment. It is not taken place. Otherwise, all integrated use of artillery, aviation, advanced technique in heliborne operation, working group on US counter, these three are included. Mains question is given. Then one line recap is India and US held youth abhyas to boost defined cooperation, interoperability and Indo-Pacific security. So interoperability meaning is given to exchange of software in any system. Overarching goal of the Youth Abhyas 2025 exercise was to enhance capabilities of United Nations peacemaking operation and multi-domain challenges. Youth Abhyas is a bilateral exercise focused on enhancing interoperability and cooperation between which two armies? The armies are India and United States. Next news is China's Global Governance Initiative at SCO Plus Summit. China's Global Governance Initiative at SCO Plus Summits. The global one liner we have to remember. The Global Governance Initiative is China's call for fairer, more inclusive world older, centered on sovereign equality, multiterritorialism, rule of law, people first policies, actionable cooperation as a counter for hegemonic or unilateral global practices. So, we are going to learn China's president, as you know, Xi Jinping. He introduced a global governance initiative, GGI. China president name is Xi Jinping. He introduced the Global Governance Initiative at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) meeting in Tianjin in 2025. So this meeting in Tianjin in 2025. Tianjin in 2025. The summit included Shanghai Cooperation Organization member states, dialogue partners like Turkey and observer countries. They need for a fair and equitable global governance system. Global governance initiative promotes sovereign equality, international law, multilateralism, and people-centered policies. So China's President Xi Jinping introduced global governance initiative at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This meeting happened in Tianjin in 2025. So about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it was founded in the year Shanghai Cooperation Organization in the 2001. Its duty is to it aims to enhance regional security and economic cooperation. So it includes Eurasian countries, and that Eurasian countries are China, Russia, India. China, Russia, India. So the organization has expanded to include dialogue partners and observers. Shanghai Cooperation Organization meetings bring together these wider members to discuss broader cooperation on combating terrorism, promoting trade, and encouraging political dialogue. About Shanghai Cooperation is an international alliance that consists of how many states? 10 member states and two observer from Eurasia. Two observer from Eurasia. So it is first established on 26th April 1996 as Shanghai 5, Shanghai 5. Then five member states. On 26 April 1996, it was established. In addition to 10 member states and two observer, the SCO Shanghai Cooperation Organization currently has 14 dialogue partners and 4 guest attendance entries. It is a current status. So Shanghai Cooperation Operation has 10 member states: China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Belarus. So the organization was established in 2001 with its member expanding over the years, member increasing over the years to include these 10 countries. So SEO Summit 2025 it brought 10 member nation leaders to brought together. The 10 members nation are China, India, Russia, Iran, Pakistan, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. So who will host the 2025 SCO meeting? India's Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi participated in 25th meeting of Council Heads of State of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which was held in Tianjin, China from 31st August to 1st September 2025. So the who joined the SCO recently, the name is Belarus. Was admitted at SEO Summit in Astana on July 2025. Prior to this, Iran was admitted in the year July 2023. Belarus in 2024. It is a member country of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. China, India, Iran, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Belarus. Global Governance Initiative core principle: GGI call for sovereign equality and among nations there should be international law and multilateralism, people-centered approach for global governance. It urges member countries to take concrete action rather than just making declaration. They also create a just and balanced international orders. So China position itself as a leader in championing shared human values. China's healthcare commitments. China plans to assist to help SEO countries to with medical support for China provide medical support for next 5 years. The plan includes treating 500 patients with congenital heart diseases. It also involves 5,000 cataract operation and 10,000 cancer screening. This effort aims to improve public health across SEO region countries. So this reflects China's emphasis on practical cooperation and people's welfare. Significance of Tianjin SEO Plus Summit. It was the fifth time China hosted the event. A very important point. It was the fifth time. It was the fifth time China hosted the event. The meeting included 20 heads of state and leaders of 20 heads of state and international organizations. Tianjin SEO 2025 Summit. Tianjin Declaration was adopted focusing on economic and security cooperation. About Jinping previous initiative, Xi Jinping proposed initiative on security, civilization and development, on international cooperation, focusing on governance structures. So together this proposal reflects China's vision for a new global order, global leader. Prelims question is given. So this years also mark the 18th anniversary of both the victory over fascism and the World War II and the founding of United Nations. Xi Jinping used these anniversary to evoke historical lesson and underline the importance of global governance. So he said that world is not a crossroad. While peace, development, mutual benefit remains global aspirants, challenges like Cold War mentality, hegemonism, protectionism, and new threats are increasing. Question is MCQ given. The global governance initiative proposed by China at SU Plus Summit is primarily based on which of the following principle? So principle is sovereignty of equality of all states, then true multilateralism, and then multiple people-centered approach. Which international bodies charters did Xi Jinping emphasizes as the legal foundation of the global governance initiative? It is United Nations. At the SEO Plus Summit 2025, China proposed cooperation under the Global Governance Initiative in which of the following areas? Areas are given: green energy and digital economy, vocational and technical education, public health, cooperation, not space militarization and nuclear deterrence. The Global Governments Initiative was announced in which year and at which platform? Question 4. That is at SCO Plus Summit 2025. Next question is the Global Governance Initiative seeks to reduce the gap between which two broad global categories, developed and developing nation. Main question is given. Pause the video and practice this question. Next news is intelligible beneficiary under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana. Government of India is intensifying efforts to re-verifying, to re-verify and update the beneficiary list under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. So it aims to ensure that free ration card benefits reach the truly deserving population while containing the rising food subsidy burden. So states like Rajasthan and Odisha have made progress by removing millions of ineligible beneficiaries. So Rajasthan and Odisha have removed many millions of ineligible beneficiaries from Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana. Free ration card is removed. Now background is it operates under the National Food Security Act 2018. It provides free food grains to approximately 800 million beneficiaries. This includes priority household receiving 5 kg of rice or wheat per person monthly and Anna Yojana Anna Yojana household receiving 35 kg per family. So this scheme was extended by 5 years in 2023, making it a major fiscal commitment. Need for why there is a need for re-verification? Because many are taking disadvantage of this. So many names are outdated due to deaths, income changes, or duplication. The list were prepared over a decade ago. Food Ministry has urged all states to re-verify eligibility to improve targeting. Ineligible beneficiary to remove and add new deserving individuals. So it is a need for re-verification. Data matching is required. A comprehensive data coverage exercise match ration card. It match ration card with database from Central Board of Direct Taxes, Central Board of Indirect Taxes, and Custom and Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi data matching. These are the data matching. So it revealed that 10% of beneficiary may not meet, 10% may not eligibility criteria. So some were found to be taxpayer, vehicle owners, company directors, none lifting their ration for months. So 10% are ineligible. So states like state level action, state like Rajasthan removed 28 lakh ineligible beneficiary. Odisha also removed 7 lakh names due to death or higher income. Madhya Pradesh and other states also did the same thing. So the process include field verification, KYC authentication using Aadhaar completed for 83% of beneficiary, which is completed for 83% of beneficiary. So there are financial implication. It is in the NFSA's issue prices have not been revised to reflect rising economic costs, including procurement, storage, and distribution. So this gap has increased, which increased the subsidy burden. The government planned to modernize grain storage and integrate supply chains with cooperative credit society to reduce cost. Rationalizing beneficiary list will focus resources on the needy. There are some challenges also. Punjab's chief minister alleged attempt to reduce free ration coverage. Some states have expressed concern over re-verification process. There is some problem coming on re-verification process. Union Food Minister clarified that states are responsible for identifying eligible household as per NFSA guidelines. The Supreme Court has mandatory e-KYC to improve transparency. About future direction, the ongoing reforms may step in strengthening India's public distribution system. Next news is SCO condemns Pahalgam terror attack. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization leaders issue a joint declaration in September 2025 strongly condemning terrorism. Strong condemnation about terrorism. It is done by Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The statement explicitly mentioned April 2025 Pahalgam attack which happened in April 2025 in Jammu and Kashmir, which killed 26 people. So this marked development as earlier defense minister level meeting had avoided mentioning the attack. So this declaration also condemned terrorist attack in Pakistan Balochistan region. So the move reflects evolving geopolitics and China's tentative shift in its stance towards terrorism related issue involving India and Pakistan. So this move reflects evolving geopolitics, China's tentative shift in its stance towards terrorism related issues, which is between India and Pakistan. SCO declaration is in all forms. It expressed condolences to victims of the Pahalgam attack. The declaration also mentioned the Jafar Express hijacking and Khuzdar school bus bombing in Pakistan. So earlier, India had pushed for explicit reference to terrorism and cross-border threats in SCO. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has refused to sign the June 2025 Defense Minister statement due to Pakistan objection. So the leader summit in Tianjin marked a breakthrough with a clear mention of Pahalgam terrorism attack. Significance of mentioning Pahalgam attack. The Pahalgam attack had been mentioned in previous SCO defense meeting draft. It has been mentioned in SCO defense meeting drafts. So this declaration called for bringing perpetrators and sponsor of terrorism to justice. So it also stretches combating cross-border terrorism movements. This reflects India's effort to internationalize its security concern with regional forums. It's an important point. Now, China's role in strategic Conclusion: China has is historically shielded Pakistan, as you know very well. Historically shielded helped Pakistan from terrorism-related criticism in international platforms. China is providing help to Pakistan. So it blocked the listing of Masood Azhar as a global terrorist for years. China also opposed the blacklisting of Sajid Mir in 2023. This action demonstrated Beijing's support for Pakistan as it all-weather friend. So, however, the Tianjin Declaration mention of Pahalgam suggests China's willingness to accommodate India's concern to some extent. So, this may be linked to improve India-China ties after Prime Minister Modi's visit to China after how many years? After 7 years. Pakistan-China relation and regional dynamics. So, despite the declaration, no direct reference, no direct output was made to Pakistan role in terrorism. China's continue to maintain close strategic and economic ties with Pakistan. So, the complex India China Pakistan triangle involves unresolved geopolitical issues. So, with the SCO statement shows progress in addressing terrorism, deep mistrust and rivalry persists. China's balance act between India and Pakistan remains a critical factor in regional security. So, these are about the Pakistan China relations and regional dynamics. There are few implications for India China relationship. The Tianjin Declaration could seen be as a diplomatic gesture by China to improve ties with India, to improve relation with India. So, however, India expects more concrete action from China to destroy cross-border terrorism. The evolving SCO dynamics reflect broader shift in Asian geopolitics. So, India and China engagement in multilateral forum like SCO will influence regional stability and counter-terrorism cooperation. One liner you have to memorize through the Tianjin Declaration. The SU has unanimously condemned the Pahalgam terror attack, demanded accountability of its perpetrators and sponsor, and rejected double standard in counter-terrorism while urging international cooperation to curb cross-border threats. Next news is urban noise pollution crisis in Indian cities. It's really threatening also. Urban noise pollution crisis in Indian city. So urban noise pollution has become a severe and neglected. It is a severe and neglected public health issue in Indian cities by 2025. By 2000, noise level increased legal limits near schools, hospital, and residential areas. Noise limits are increasing. Despite monitoring efforts, enforcement remains weak. It remains weak. All the rules are, the policies are weak. Noise pollution threatens mental health, ecological balance, and constitutional rights also. So, current monitoring and enforcement challenges are CPCB, the Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB. Central Pollution Control Board launched the National Ambient Noise Monitoring Network, NANMN. National Ambient Noise Monitoring Network, NANMN, in 2011. So it aimed to provide real-time noise data. It functioned mainly as a passive data repository. Collection of that passive data, sensor placement often violates guidelines and reducing data accuracy. So state pollution control boards operates in silos and it fails to respond to public queries. Noisy data is incomplete and politically it is inert, empty. Unlike Europe, where noise impacts policy, India lacks coordinated action. It's a very important point. So, escalating urban noise crisis, impact on public health, impact on vulnerables, and civic fatigue, ecological consequences. Analyzing noise pollution governance in India is given about that monitoring challenge, sensor placement issues, passive data repository, fragmented enforcement, outdated rules, and regulatory framework gaps are there. And then judicial intervention, unimplemented court orders, weak local governance, poor urban planning, lack of natural acoustic policies. These are the effective noise pollution control. There are need of reducing noise pollution in effectively integrated noise reduction. Urban designing is required. National framework is required. A high level noise levels to be monitored. Reduce noise pollution. Sonic empathy is required, and decentralized enforcement is required. So, legal framework and constitutional implication, the Noise Pollution Regulation Control Rules 2000 provides a legal basis to regulate noise. The World Health Organization limits 50 decibel by day and 40 decibel by night in silence zones. Indian city frequently exceed these limits, especially near sensitive institution. So the Supreme Court reaffirmed in 2024 that excessive noise violates Article 21 right to life and dignity. It violates Article 21 right to life and dignity. Article 48A mandates environmental protection, but enforcement is symbolic and fragmented. It is also not powerful. Ecological and health impacts is also there. Noise reduces bird song complexity, ecological degradation, human health is affected. Vulnerable groups like children and elderly are suffering. Urban trees and green spaces are also getting bad effect. Political and social dimension are there. Civic fatigue and acceptance of loud honking, construction noise, loud speaking, per pitch increase the problem. And then, unlike visible pollution, noise leaves no physical trace, making it less tangible to citizen authorities. So there is a lack of sustained public outrage, allows regulatory neglect to continue. Policy recommendation and cultural change are required. So NANMN should be decentralized to empower local authorities with real-time data and enforcement powers. Public awareness campaign must move beyond slogan to create culture of sonic empathy. Urban planning should embedded acoustic resilience to promote quieter, healthier cities. Behavior change can be encouraged through education and community engagement. So, NANMN is National Ambient Noise Monitoring Network, which is an initiative launched by Indian Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change by managed by Central Pollution Control Board to collect real-time ambient noise data in Indian cities to control noise pollution. NANMN. One-liner recap is urban noise pollution in Indian cities have reached alarming levels, surpassing the WHO limits and posing serious risk to public health, environment, and quality of life. Mains question is given. Kindly write and practice it. Permissible noise level in silence zone is 50 decibel day and 40 decibel night. Which ministry is responsible for implementing noise pollution control rules 2000 is a Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Next question is given, which of the following is the permissible noise level in residential areas during daytime as per the noise pollution regulating and control rule 2000 in India is 55 decibel. Which city was recently reported as the noisiest city in the world by UNEP's Frontiers Reports 2022? That is a Muradabad by UNEP Frontier Report 2022 is the noisiest city in the world. Noisiest city in the world. In the world. UNEP Frontiers Reports identified Muradabad, India, is the world's second noisiest city with a maximum noise level of 114 decibels, right after Dhaka, Bangladesh. So, first noisiest city in the world is the Dhaka, Bangladesh. Second is from Muradabad, India. United Nations Environment Program released a Frontier 2022 report. It is based on this report, which highlights emerging environmental issues. Which article of Indian Constitution empowers citizens to move court against health hazards like noise pollution? The Article 21. Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. This article states that no person shall be deprived of their life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. So, Indian judiciary has given a bold interpretation to this right, holding that it is not merely about the right to exist, but right to live with human dignity. So, this court have constantly ruled that right to live in pollution-free atmosphere. Article 21, which includes protection from noise pollution, is an integral part of Article 21. Now, Article 32 and 226, Article 32 directly approach to Supreme Court if their fundamental rights are violated. Article 226 is provide a similar right to approach the high courts of the respective states. So Article 19(1) is a freedom of speech and expression. So in addition, Indian Constitution through the broad interpretation of the right to life under Article 21 and the remedies are provided under Article 32 and 226 empower citizens to challenge and seek legal remedies under against health hazards like noise pollution. Next news is Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi. It is a news from Bihar. Bihar has taken a major step to empower rural women entrepreneurs. So Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi सहकारी संघ बिहार राज्य जीविका निधि साख संहारी संघ लिमिटेड via video conferencing done by the Pradhan Pradhanmantri. The event saw the transfer of 105 crore rupees 105 crore into the institution bank account. So it aims to provide affordable and timely financial support to women associated with Jivika self-help groups in Bihar. So it helps to reduce dependency on costly microfinance loans and promote community-led enterprises. So what is the purpose of Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi? It offers easy access to funds at lower interest rates. Rates should be less. Interest rates should be less. It targets member of registered cultural labor federation linked to Jivika. Women entrepreneurs often face high interest rates from microfinance institutions ranging between 18% to 25%. So it provides easy access to fund at lower interest rates. It also aims to provide larger loans at affordable rates. So ensuring financial inclusion and sustainability for rural women-led business. So funding and digital operation is given to support this. 12,000 community cadres are being equipped with tablets for efficient digital operation and monitoring. So direct payments go into the bank account for Jivika Didis, eliminating any delays and intermediaries. Impact on women entrepreneurship. It is strengthen entrepreneurship among approximately 20 lakh women across Bihar. So it reduces women's dependence on exploitative lenders and encourage sustainable business development. So this initiative has this scheme has come after the inauguration of Semicon India, which I have explained already in my video. Prelims, the Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi is primarily associated with rural livelihood promotion through self-help group. Through which group? Self-help group. Which of the following institution initiative is directly linked with Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi? Is the World Bank's first one is the World Bank, Bihar Rural Livelihood Projects. Then second one is it is linked to women self-help groups and then linked to National Rural Livelihood and Missions. Bihar Rajya Jivika primarily aims to empower rural women through self-help groups, microfinance and livelihood opportunities. Main question is given, just pause the video. One line recap for you is the state level implementation arm of National Rural Livelihood Mission NRLM. National Rural Livelihood Mission in Bihar, which aimed at poverty reduction and women empowerment through self-help groups, microfinance and livelihood promotion with the help of World Bank support. Next news is Operation Swarna. Operation Swarna, it is from Tirupati, Tamil Nadu. The Tirupati Urban Development Authority, TUDA. Tirupati Urban Development Authority TUDA has launched operation. Then operation name is Swarna. Swarnamukhi water body action for river and Nala awareness. Operation Swan for Swarnmukhi Water Body Action for River and Nala Awareness by Tirupati Urban Development Authority, which is a large scale project to restore and protect the Swarnmukhi River, to protect Swarnmukhi River. So it aims to remove encroachment, revive the river's flow, and safeguard its environment, to focus on water body restoration. So this project has received support from Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister also, and it is the first of its kind in the state to focus water body restoration. Swanmukhi River flows eastward for 130 km from Pakala to Bay of Bengal. So it passes south of Tirupati near Srila, Srilahasti, both cultural and tourist centers. So river is important for region, ecology, agriculture and urban water needs. So news from Madhya Pradesh, it is a Tirupati Urban Development Authority has launched Operation Swarna for river and nala awareness. So this there is a severe encroachment and illegal construction which damage its natural courses and flow area of the river. Encroachments are there. So the damage leads to flood in 2021, displacing many residents who lacked legal documents to claim their homes. Land grabbers have occupied the river banks, buffer zones, stream tanks, and canals. So there are many encroachments are there. Now, Operation Swarna is aimed to identify and remove all illegal encroachment along the river and its buffer zone. So, TUDA will lead the task force supported by the Irrigation Survey and Revenue Department. A drone survey will also there to map the river boundaries from Thondawada to Srikala Hast. So, this project will mark 50 meters on either side of the river to define protected zones. Institutional framework is there. This task force will have power similar to Hyderabad's Hydra authority to enforce laws and punish violators, same like Hyderabad's Hydra authority. So whistleblowers and victims are encouraged to report corruption or illegal land sale involving public representative and officials. So these are the institutional framework. It will increase in tourism development. And the project includes beautifying the riverfront near Tirachanur, close to the goddess Padmavati Amravati temple. So plans include constructing a culvert to slow water flow, which helps devotees to bath before temple visits. So one line recap is Operation Swarna, Swarmukhi Water Body Action for Swarmukhi Water Body Action for River Nala Awareness is a TUDA initiative to rejuvenate and protect the which river? Swarmukhi River through large scale restoration and pollution control and community awareness. Main question is given, just write down, practice it. MCQ based question is Operation Sorna launched by TUDA is associated with which of the following river rejuvenation? Swanmukhi River recently news under Operation Swarna flows through which Indian state? Andhra Pradesh. Which urban body is implementing Operation Sarna for restoring the Swanmukhi River is Tirupati Urban Development Authority, TUDA. Now we will learn in the next video. Just whatever the updates we have learned, kindly practice it, solve all the pre-question, mains question, stay consistent, stay motivated. Best of luck for your exam. Kindly watch the next series.